Hello, hello! Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie Part 1. I'm Julie Davison and I'm so happy you are joining us this week. It is Sunday, June 9th, 2024, and we have some amazing things happening in June, including a special sale on stamp set and die bundles and 2 brand new kits, one of which I'm going to share with you this week. Let's turn the camera around and get started so I can share with you the product that Mom and I are featuring in this week's videos. All right, we're back in the annual catalog today, the May 2024 to April 2025 annual catalog on pages 46 and 47 with the Thoughtful Journey Suite. This one is so gorgeous. Mom, I think it might be one of the first ones I was like, I have to have that.
Absolutely.
I really think. Go ahead.
Sorry. I wanted to show us that designer paper.
Yes.
And the story hands down.
So I mean, and this has been low inventory and out of stock, and it's back right now. But make sure you go grab it. And if you miss it, you'll still be able to get it because it's in the annual catalog, so it's going to be restocked all year long. But truly, the designer paper is the star of the show. This paper reminds me of that On the Horizon paper that we had a year or two ago that was so popular and just kept selling out. It has some watercolor designs by Stampin' Up concept artists. Let me move this out of the way here so I can show you. This is a 6x6 paper, and so there's 12 designs, and you get 4 each of those 12 designs that are double-sided with some really great sort of background patterns. But oh my god, there's just so many things you can do with this. And I think whether you're using the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set that coordinates or a different stamp set, I think you're gonna just make some beautiful cards with this designer paper. I am missing one pattern which I'm using today, so you'll see that, but you can see there's just I hate to cover up any of the sides because they're all so fabulous. But this isn't the only designer paper in this suite. The Thoughtful Journey designer paper also includes a 12x12 paper called Thoughtful Designs, and this is a single-sided paper that has some, I would call it almost like an iridescent resist. It has these designs and it's kind of shiny, and then there's different colors. So it's the same design on each one with different colors that have sort of a gradient pattern with the slightly different colors on each side. So beautiful. The colors in this suite include Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, Wild Wheat, Mossy Meadow, and Pretty Peacock, although there's lots of different shades of different colors. And you'll find a more complete list on the back of the packaging. In addition to the designer paper, we also have some embellishments. These are the adhesive backed pearl trio, and there are 3 colors in there: Calypso Coral, kind of a pretty peacock, and more of a almost berry burst, I would say. I don't know if there are specific colors on here, but I think that's the great thing about the embellishments is that sometimes they go with multiple colors, so it doesn't have to be only Calypso Coral. I think it goes well with you know, some of the others. And then I have to remind you, 10% off in June on stamp set and die bundles, including the Thoughtful Wishes bundle from this Thoughtful Journey suite. So this is a cling mount rubber stamp set, and it's got some really great kind of wildflower images and some fantastic sentiments. Dearest friend, thinking of you fondly. Thanks, missing you. You make my life better. I appreciate you. And some coordinating dies that die cut not only the stamped images, but also some detailed dies. I love this one. I'll be using that on my project today. And I think, Mom, you're using this die on yours, right?
Yes.
Lots of great dies in this die bundle. So an extra 10% off this month. That means an extra 10% off the original price of the stamp set and dies. So a total of 20% off when you get those together. So this is the time to get the Thoughtful Wishes bundle or any of the stamp set and die bundles that you've been looking at. Also a 10% discount on die cutting machines, including the mini machines. So if you've been thinking about that, it's a good time for that as well. Well, I wanted to start by sharing some more coordinating products. The Thoughtful Journey also has some coordinating, I should have marked the page, Memories and More cards. And let me see, memory keeping, here we go, page 26.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Excuse me. There are 2 new sets of Memories and More cards. The Thoughtful Journey, which coordinates with this suite, and also the Unbounded Beauty. And we shared some projects with that suite and forgot to share the cards as well. The Memories and More cards are so fantastic because you can create not only memory keeping projects, but you can also create cards and more. So these are, there's 28 cards in here, and they are 3x4. And then also 4x6, and you get 2 of each card, and they're double-sided. So we've got some really great like words that are perfect for memory keeping, but then also some that are great for card making. And so one of my favorite ways to use these cards is to create really simple cards with the Memories and More cards and envelopes. So these are just white card bases with envelopes, and you get some that are sized for the smaller cards, the 3x4, and some that are sized for the larger cards, the 4x6. So these are 3¼ by 4¼ and 4¼ by 6¼ inch cards. So they just have a perfect little layer around the edge. So you can just glue the cards right to the card base and just make some quick and easy cards. Now, just a quick note, these smaller ones are too small to mail on their own. So you want to make sure to use those as a gift enclosure or put them in a larger envelope to mail them. But the assorted Memories and More cards and envelopes includes both sizes, right? I do have the right package. Yes, on page 27 you'll find that item number. They used to be packaged separately, and so I forgot which way they were. But anyway, some quick and easy cards if you want to use the cards and envelopes. So I also took these cards and just combined them with the stamp set and made some quick and easy cards that are sort of our regular size cards. So I added Wild Week card base and a Night of Navy card base, and I did a little die cut here and used the stamp set. Well, here and here, those are both stamped images. So lots of ways that you can use those Memories and More cards. Honestly, I think they're so beautiful, even just to frame, just like that. I think that is a gorgeous way to use them, and I've done that in the past. All right, Memories and More.
That's brilliant.
Oh, I accidentally ordered 2 packages, so I've got lots to work with here with these Memories and More cards. But that's not the only product that coordinates with the Thoughtful Journey suite. We also have a brand new card kit. Let me get back to our Thoughtful Journey so you can kind of see the vibe of the suite. So the Thoughtful Journey. What's that?
I just said 46 and 47.
Oh, thank you. So this brand new kit that just launched last week called Expressions of Kindness also has the same kind of vibe as the Thoughtful Journey suite and the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set. So this card kit includes a stamp set. It makes 4 each of 2 different card designs. And so you can see it's got a similar watercolor imagery. This one's got some really beautiful gold foil accents. And I'm not sure how well you can see. Let me get the stamp set out. But the font of the kit stamp set is the same font, mixed font, as the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set. And this includes a little floral, a little flower that you stamp on the cards. And I was looking at this designer paper, and I think you could use that stamp to stamp on the flowers here in the designer paper. So a little Yeah, a little mixing and matching that you can do with the suite, especially with the sentiments. So this card kit, so gorgeous. You can get that right now in the online store. It's 163905. So if you love the look of the Thoughtful Journey Suite collection, you'll love this kit. If you love the kit, I think you're really going to love the Thoughtful Journey Suite, especially that amazing designer paper. Are you ready to see my card?
Holy cow, yes.
All right. So I was really having some fun playing with this, and I was trying to work on a technique. It didn't quite turn out the way I wanted to, but I was inspired by the watercolor imagery here. And so I was trying to do some watercolor and spraying on the paper and getting it to bleed. And this one looks okay, but a lot of my other ones were just a mess. And so I kind of gave up on that technique today, but I am going to use some of the designer paper, and I am going to use the markers to color on the stamp. So let me first talk about my card measurements. I got my paper trimmer out because I need to do a little bit of cutting here. I'm using a half a sheet of Mossy Meadow cardstock. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's a normal card base. I'm going to take now my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut. I'm going to line up here at the 1 inch, and I'm going to cut from the bottom to the score line. And then I am going to come over here and, well, I'm just going to turn it around. I like lining up over here at the 1 inch. So I'm going to do that. But now I'm cutting on the same side. So I'm cutting down to the score line. So what I end up with is a card base that has 2 skinny little flaps on the side. And I've done similar cards like this and done a little bridge, like a spanner panel card. And I've done it where you fold up the middle and you make an easel card. But this is just going to be just a simple flat card. But we have these 2 side panels that we're going to glue down. So let's talk about our designer paper pieces. I've got 2 pieces of that specialty Thoughtful Designs paper. And these are I am sorry, they are not 1 by 4. Excuse me. They are 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. I'll have the measurements for you in the video description as well. These are going to go here on the sides. In fact, I'll just go ahead and glue those down. And then we're actually going to take the back side of those and glue them down completely to the card base.
I haven't done this card sketch in a long time.
Yeah. So I'm just gluing those down. So the only thing that's going to open is the center. So it's almost like a regular card. It just has a little something different. Use my bone folder to get a good crease there. So then for the inside, well, both for the inside and the outside, I've got 3 1/4 by 4 inches. So one of them is going to go in the front and one of them is going to go in the inside. And I've already decorated the inside piece, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down. I will show you this same technique that I used to color the flower in different colors for the focal point on the front. Before I glue this one down, I have some designer paper that goes on it. It's 3 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And this is enough so that you can get 2 of these pieces from 1 sheet of the 6 by 6. But before I glue it onto the white, I want to use my white to stamp and punch my design, hopefully. Yeah, I think this is going to work out okay. On my original, I did a little like a scrap paper, but I thought I'm gonna reuse this cardstock. I always like trying to utilize and save paper. So I am using markers to color on the back of the stamp. I chose Petunia Pop and Mossy Meadow, and I pulled these colors from the designer paper.
And just to clarify, Julie, you're using the Stampin' Up markers, not the blends.
I am.
Yes, you don't want to use alcohol blends on your stamps because it won't come off.
Yes, it'll stick right to the rubber. So yes, the Stampin' Write markers are water-based markers, and so they are a similar ink to what we have in the ink pads, and so you can stamp and re-moisten the ink, and that's what I was doing earlier over here. I was spraying with water on the stamp and then putting it on watercolor paper, and having some fun with that. But I'm not going to introduce extra water this time. I'm just going to stamp it on the cardstock. Okay. So I'm not doing the whole thing because I don't need the whole thing. I'm just going to do a little 2-inch circle. So before I stamp this, I'm going to huff on it to re-moisten that ink because we have such a lightweight ink. I'm going to do this. I don't want it to come down here since we're going to cover it. Because it is such a fast drying ink, I just want to make sure to kind of re-moisten it before I stamp. So it's a very light version here with the petunia pop. If you want a darker petunia pop, I would say do the green first and then add the petunia pop at the end. And we could try that again, but I don't want to I don't want to spend the time to do that. But now I'm going to take my 2-inch circle punch and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to punch a circle. And it's going to be tight. I still can cover it up and you won't even know that I punched a circle out of that layer. Do you use your paper like that, Mom, and punch out of the center before you cover it up?
Not as much as I should. So this is a good reminder for me to do that.
I'm going to take this now and layer it onto the front of the card. It works fine when you have a solid card base behind, but if you're doing something like a gatefold card or something where it hangs over, then you can't because your secret will be revealed. I've got a little wild wheat die cut. This is one of the dies in that set for the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. I get them so mixed up because they use the same words. It's this die here. It's so beautiful. I just love that intricate design. And so I picked wild wheat because there was some wild wheat in this paper. And I just kind of wanted to incorporate that a little bit. So I'm going to do a little wild wheat and some glue. And we were just talking about, being careful. So this is going to hang over the edge just a little bit. And so you want to make sure not to have any glue on the ends because then your card will be glued shut and you won't be able to open it. You'll be sad. Okay, so I'm going to go towards the top this time. I think on my sample card I was at the bottom. And I'll show you both and then you can decide. All right, so that's going to go right in the center. And then for our greeting, I have a little piece that's 3/4 of an inch by 2 inches. And I cut an extra just in case I messed up. I always do that. And I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss to stamp. And this is the color Blackberry Bliss that comes in that card kit, the Expressions of Kindness. I love the Blackberry Bliss and it's so pretty. Even though there's not a really dark purple in there, it's just kind of nice to have a little something that is not black, that still kind of coordinates with the paper. I was trying to close that and I thought it was going to get on me. It did. So the technique that I did with the markers is the same technique that I did inside here. So you can see that is a little bit darker in there. We're going to add this with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's get those out. And on this one, it is going to overlap on the circle a little bit. So I've got some regular adhesive on one end and a Stampin' Dimensional on the other. And then that is going to go over here.
What a pretty card.
Thank you. This designer paper does all the hard work. I just did a little bit of stamping and kind of just layered on top of that. Of course, we need a little bling. Our card is never done without some bling. And so I'm gonna get those pearls out. And these are big pearls. I think you were mentioning in your video, Mom, there's only one size. So I find them to be a little bulky. So I'm only gonna use one, and I'm just gonna kind of put it right there to accent the sentiment and just kind of highlight that.
You know, while you got your embellishments out, I'm not sure if these are low inventory or if they are currently not available, but the variety of embellishments that Stampin' Up! Has in this catalog, you can pull from a bunch of different ones. So if you aren't able to get these right now, don't worry. Just turn to the page of embellishments in the catalog, and you'll find something that'll work. I promise.
Yes. So on these cards, I used some of the sequins that are part of, let me pull it out. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Mom, because we really do have such an amazing selection of embellishments. And earlier I was talking about, you know, not being too tied up with the colors, because you can mix and match these, you know, with lots of different designer papers, even if the exact color isn't in the paper. So here is the sequins that I used on these cards. So it has pretty peacock and some a pink and then some white sequins. So that's a good substitute that goes with this designer paper. And then the ones that we have to go with the paper specifically is supposed to be these, the adhesive backed pearl trio. But they, like I said, they are kind of bulky and big. So there are some different embellishments that are smaller if you prefer a smaller embellishment. All right, here's that this or that. I used the same piece of paper, but the paper, you know, kind of the design isn't the same on both sides, you know, so like this was the hill going this way and this was the hill going this way. So I have it low and I have it high. Do you have a preference, Mom? Which one do you prefer?
Ooh, I like the one on the left. I don't know why. They're basically the same card.
Yeah. But I like it because the flowers are darker, and that maybe is impacting how I feel about it. But let me show you some other card samples using these this bundle and the amazing designer paper. These are all card swap. This one is from Kim Peck, my upline, and she used one of the die cuts and tore the designer paper and then used a sentiment from the Unbounded Love. And she has iridescent pearls on her card. This one is from Beth Alvis, and she has used the Distress Tile embossing folder and stamped some of the leaves on designer paper with a die cut. You Make My Life Better comes from that Thoughtful Wishes stamp set. And then I'm not sure which embellishment she's got here, but these are different. Those are pink rhinestones. This one from Kathy Gruby. She did a kind of a similar technique with stamping in the background and then used the die cut in color and the little splotchy one on the back of the Calypso Coral cardstock. And she used the rhinestones, regular rhinestones on her card. This was one, I looked at the back, this is one I made. And I used some of the In Color Shimmer Gems on this card with some of that fun designer paper in the background. And then this card is from Chasey Jacobs, and she used the Simply Said stamp set. Just a note, I love that. Simply Said, is that the right one? I think it is. Such a great card. This one just has like a fun, you know, like a partial front with the green Mossy Meadow cardstock showing there on the front. And then, oh my gosh, I love this one from Leanne Graff. She used that Thoughtful Journey designer paper with one of the new bundles. This is one, I've got to look it up on the bundle page, that has an awesome die cut with these birch trees. Very similar to the Grassy Grove bundle that we had before. This is kind of like a sequel. And I'm trying to find the page number really quick here. It is almost there. In the Grove, right here on page 70. So that's where that die comes from. And she just used that die with the Thoughtful Journey designer paper, and then the sentiment comes from the bundle, Thoughtful Wishes. But isn't it just gorgeous behind that die cut?
Oh yeah.
Such a simple card, but it just makes such an impact. This paper is absolutely gorgeous. I hope that you will think about grabbing a pack in the online store, and I know you're gonna love the card that Mom has made for you this week. So I'm gonna show you my card one more time, and then we're gonna head over to her channel so you can check out part 2 of Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. Here's my finished card one more time with the Thoughtful Wishes bundle and the Thoughtful Journey suite. I hope you enjoyed this card idea and that you'll try it at home even if you don't have the same products. Of course, if you do want to get the Thoughtful Wishes bundle, June is a great time. You can save an extra 10% on all stamp set and die bundles. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future card making videos. But now it is time to head over to Mom's channel for part 2 of Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. Click on the link right in the middle of the screen or in the video description, and I look forward to hanging out with you in the chat over there. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.